My name is Jacob Evans. I'll be briefing Autism IXMBA today. Before I begin, I want to let everybody here know I have a 7-year-old daughter with autism. She's high functioning. I'm in the United States military. I've lived in 5 different countries for the past 16 years. So because of these constraints and restraints on my personal life has been the foundation for Autism IXMBA. What is autism? What are autism spectrum disorders? Autism spectrum disorders are behavior and communication disorders that children between the ages of 2 to 10 traditionally are diagnosed with. Now, how is this identified? The Center for Disease Control and the American Pediatric Association in the United States estimate 1 in 110 children have some form of autism spectrum disorder, from high functioning to significant disorders such as Asperger's. What that means, how it's diagnosed, very complex. Traditionally in a child's life, it's diagnosed through the parents, through a teacher, or through their family doctor. Treatment for autism is very wide in scope. It ranges everything from diet to drugs to therapy. For Autism IXMBA, we're going to focus on 3 different types of therapy: speech, occupational, and physical therapy for the child. Approximately 700,000 children in the United States have some form of autism or autism spectrum disorders. Approximately 1/3 of that population is not being treated. Why? Traditional care in the United States is localized through fixed sites, through providers, hospitals that a parent or guardian or school has to physically go to. So as your child progresses, you have to find a new fixed site. In my case, when we moved to Madrid, where we live right now, there are no current fixed sites for an English-speaking 7-year-old child who has autism. So the other issues that come into play, and this is from my own personal experience, is how do I go from country to country, state to state, and explain to a new provider, a new group of therapists, the issues that my 7-year-old daughter does when she can't express herself? Well, that comes in through taking video, that comes in through taking notes, that comes in from taking medical records that are in 4 different languages and creating a database and a history. So any provider, before they even meet my child, can go in and read up on it or watch videos or watch notes. Therefore, creating our opportunity. This is our value proposition. Online services that are all recognized through every national body, through speech, through physical therapy, and through occupational therapy, all endorsing online treatment, coupled with, partnered with a platform that allows all stakeholders involved to share information real time anywhere in the world. This is what it looks like. From the customers, from insurance agencies, to schools, to doctors, to the parent, to the child, through the online services. Everybody coming together through an online database. Therefore creating your child as the center of the universe. Everything moving through your child shared real time, no walls, no restrictions, no boundaries. Key success factors for Autism IXMBA are focused on 5 tenets. These tenets are not recognized by us, but through all the major governing bodies with autism, Center for Disease Control, and the American Pediatric Association. Children with autism have to have a customized treatment plan that's intensive, that's structured, that's holistic, and the biggest problem that we found is parent participation. Many countries that I've lived in, they do not allow parents to participate in therapy sessions. With Autism IXMBA, the parent is now involved. Whether the parent's at work or whether at home, the parent can now be involved in managing the child's medical history. Absolutely crucial. This is a stakeholder relationship. From Autism IXMBA to the providers, to the parents, to the customers, all focused around the child. Everybody locked together, everybody talking together, everybody synergized together to give the best possible treatment and care for the growth of the child. This is where Autism IXMBA creates its value. Legislation in the United States, at the federal, state, and county level, currently 35 states in the U.S. mandate funded care free of charge to children through the ages of 2 through 17 as they're going through their public education. Technology. This is off-the-shelf technology. One laptop, high-speed internet connection, you have video, data services. That effectively is the doctor's office. Whether it's in your living room, whether it's in your kitchen, whether you're in a Holiday Inn on vacation, You are in the doctor's office at any time. Convenience. Any time of day, 24 hours a week, 7 days a week. You do not have to be constrained by your child's intensive 5 days a week, however long it is. You can now go on vacation as a parent. You can feel free to move and live anywhere in the world with Autism IXMBA. Lastly, the market. If anybody here knows a parent who has a special needs child, you know how intense, how aggressive. They will move heaven and earth to get their child the best care. This is the market we're talking about. Talking further about the market will be my colleague Mike Satu, who will go into more specifics.
Thank you, Jake. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Before we go much further, Jake just talked to you about the nuances of autism, this very challenging behavior disorder. He also spoke to you about the opportunity. It's my job today to talk you through the process and how we plan to exploit that opportunity through our marketing plan. Also, before we continue, there's a very important factor to this. Some of you may have questions about how is it possible to conduct online therapy where we're used to being face-to-face with doctors and patients. You see the quotation here. It says simply that on record, we have doctors and education experts who firmly endorse this opportunity to bring the patient and child together in the environment that Jake just described in the home, without any degradation, especially when there's no other opportunity to bring the two together. So now we've taken out that distance challenge and trying to get a patient all the way to a hospital. What I'm going to show you here are just where we sit in 2011 and looking all the way out to 2016. If you understand how population growth goes, you also can understand the challenges we have. As our population increases, so do the number of children who are discovered that have autism spectrum disorder. The challenge we have there is how can we build therapy centers to match the population growth rate? It's just not possible. So what we do instead is we continue with our expansion of Autism IXMBA. There's a couple takeaways here. Initially in 2011, we're not going after the entire spectrum here. We're going after less than 1%. Our addressable market is the portion you see in blue. And as the years progress, that addressable market increases as our reputation, our successes as a company grow. By 2014, we're only talking about 7,500 children, plus or minus a couple hundred. By 2016, 37,000. We plan on communicating this through normal traditional channels to expand on the Autism IXMBA brand equity. But there's two in particular I'd like to highlight for your attention. Trade shows and events like any, we're planning to exploit those by being in person, talking to the doctors, the educators, the therapist experts when they have their conventions and their exchanges of professional knowledge. We fully hope to talk to them and expand on their lessons learned, their ideas, their suggestions, give them feedback from our own opportunities and what it's done for us. The other way, as Jake touched on, the network that exists between all parents who have children with autism is an incredibly passionate network. And those parents, like you said, will move heaven and earth to find a solution for their child. What works for one family might very well work for another. So their information exchange is almost to the point of fanatical because it's just near real time. So as that network expands with the reputation of our business, we expect that the parents' network will triple probably what we see through the professional trade show opportunities. Those are two very big enablers for us. I'm going to talk you through the business plan, how it looks. You saw the wagon wheel diagram that Jake had earlier. We don't want to underestimate that everything revolves around that child. All the support network, all the exchanges of information in a secure domain revolve around the child as you see here. It all starts with his online assessment, and that's the entry point when the child comes into the program. There's your therapy descriptions of how they go. Some might be unique to the child, some might be blends. None of them are identical to the other. They all are customized to the needs of the child. Our stakeholders are on the outside of the diagram, starting with the insurance companies on the lower left. On the left side, your educators, your medical. On the top, you see the network and the structure of our company from Autism IXMBA. And down at the bottom, the anchor point, the foundation of this whole process, revolves around the parents and their role, face-to-face, hand-in-hand with the child. The one thing that makes this whole process work is the continual update of information. And I want to emphasize one thing. Just because a child goes through 10 or 20 sessions, he or she does not necessarily graduate and suddenly be autism cured. It's a continual revision of therapies that work, behaviors that are successful, and some that aren't. So the doctors and the therapists are continually assessing and redefining and refining the therapy process for the child. So it's a continual basis where the business continues as the progress goes with the child's behavior improvements. So I'll be followed by Cassie, who will talk you through the opportunities of how to work the business plan. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much, Mike. Thank you very much for coming today. So we have been talking about the what and the opportunity we have. Now I'm going to tell you how we're going to make that opportunity into a successful company. So the operational plan, we have divided it in 4 main streams, 2 of them being our core competences, what we're going to deliver as a value proposition to our customers, which are organization and IT. Without that, we are not offering anything. The other 2 are the way that we're going to sell this to the market, sales and marketing, so that we can tell our customers and users that we have a value proposition for them. We have made a plan for the next years with the different activities that we are supposed to do to make sure that we achieve the successful company that we want to. But of course, this is not a static plan. This is a very flexible plan with a lot of feedback receiving continuously from the situation of the market and the situation of our company. What I would like is to grab your attention into the 4 factors that we have to make sure happen before the end of the year so that we can go to market. And of course, they have to do with our core competence. So first, technological platform. We already have discussed with one possible provider of a technological platform. So all our business plan is built on those numbers, but we want to make sure that we have the best option. So we're going to send a request for quotation to different technology providers with our business and IT needs. Secondly, we need to make sure that we have the sufficient pool of doctors and therapists that are going to do the work. Without them, there's no job to be done. So by the end of the year, we expect to have the operational platform up and ready. And then we start with the key action for this year. We need to make a pilot. And the reason for the pilot is basically because we need to show that our value proposition is doable. We have the endorsement from doctors and education, but we have to show that our solution is doable. We will not only have that for our solution, but we will use as a proof of concept in all our marketing approaches. With regards to financials, very simple things. 2 slides only, very simple. It's a very, very easy way to show our sources of revenue. 5 different services used by the consumers, different customers. So part of our technology is to assure that all the flow goes through. So that we will be using extensively electronic invoicing with our customers so that it's quicker, faster, less errors, and less human resources involved. So a win-win situation for all of us. With regards to financials, there are 3 key things that are very important for us to consider the profitability of the company. The first one is our cost structure and the contribution margin of all the services that we're going to offer. If we link that to the lifetime value of our customers, which the numbers that you have here are not ours, they are CDC numbers, $4,500 per patient per year, an average of 10 years of treatment. We are talking about a market of $3 billion. We want to be there. And we don't need to be in a very, very high part of the market. We are talking about a 5% 2016. But think of each of these customers as a $1,000 profit. So our need for investment is going to be $1 million to ramp up the company before we start the pilot. And these are the returns expected after 3 years of operation, 7% of rate of return. The EBITDA, almost $8 million. The enterprise value, 4.5. So the return of the investment is 2.5 years. Of course, rewards come with risks. So these are the key risks that are included in the business plan. I would like to grab your attention in the first and the last. The first is resistance from the people for online services. We have talked about that already. Well, our proof of concept, our pilot is going to overcome that. The last one is competitors. This is a very attractive market. We expect many competitors to come. We don't need a big piece to be profitable. Of course, all of this is thanks to a very, very professional and skilled team, the 3 of us, Jake, Mike, myself. We're going to give our best for this venture: leadership, technology knowledge, risk management, but especially passion. A lot of passion in what we do, either for family or for personal reasons, but a lot of passion because we have a vision. We have a vision that our platform can help and improve the life of many ASD patients and their families. But we not only have a vision, We have a very interesting opportunity in front of us. We have a very attractive market with high revenues and high growth. Of course, the team, as we have already said, but most of all, it's a very green future that we want to talk about. Because we are talking about e-health services. We're going to change the way that industry is delivering services today. And that's what is needed. But of course, everything is centered on your child. Thank you very much for your attention.